Hey everyone, welcome to another video. Remember, if you love film, gaming, or television content, please consider clicking that subscribe button because I want to talk about something a tad different to what I normally do, and that is both the Marvel special presentations, Werewolf by Night and the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. So, let's get into it. Just a quick warning, this will go into spoilers for both Werewolf by Night and the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special.
No, thank you, spoiler alert.
So instead of reviewing both of these, I want to talk a little more about what sets them apart in the MCU and why I would prefer Marvel focus on these projects rather than some of the stuff that they're focusing on now. For those of you who don't know, the Marvel special presentations are two very different projects inside of the MCU, and they feel like a hybrid between a TV special and a short feature film. The Academy of Motion Arts and Sciences classifies a feature film is a film that runs for 40 minutes or more. As both specials are around 45 to 50 minutes long, I would say they both count as a feature. The two special presentations that Marvel have done are both Werewolf by Night and the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, which focus on different themes for different holidays. What makes these both really special is that they manage to capture the feelings associated with each of these holidays. Werewolf by Night really captures those Halloween vibes, and Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special really captures those Christmas vibes. I think the first out of these two that I want to talk about a little more in depth is the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, as that is the most recent release and the newest example as to why I think these specials work really well so far.
So keep that going.
James Gunn has kind of been on fire recently. The Suicide Squad was excellent, as he had a lot more creative freedom from DC to be a little more violent and use a little more language. And I think that works really well for his directing style. And the same could be said for the Peacemaker show. His return back to Marvel with this special felt like a welcome one, as it had bursts of creativity and just being a fun thing to watch around Christmas that gives you a cozy feeling that all of the great Christmas films do.
Christmas spirit.
The idea of this is fairly simple. Star-Lord is feeling down because of the events that have happened in the MCU previously, and both Drax and Mantis try to bring him Kevin Bacon to cheer him up. It sounds goofy, and that is all what this needs to be. A fun MCU-themed Christmas movie, and that's what it really achieves. You get some more banter between Drax and Mantis, and there are some really nice animated sequences that bookend both the beginning and the end of this special. It manages to go through a nice range of emotions in a fairly short amount of time, and I enjoyed how effectively it told its story. I think that this is a very welcome addition because for once, we don't have crazy massive set pieces with a terrible CGI boss fight at the end of it. The film does not waste your time, and in a time right now where we are just getting nothing but 2.5 to 3 hour films, it's nice to get a little 50-minute feature that just makes you feel good afterwards. I guess if I were to score this, I would give it a 3.5 out of 5 because some of the humor is strange and doesn't work at times, and it's also strange how Drax almost murders someone and he kind of plays it off as a joke, but because of its length and how fun this is overall, this feels like it could be a mainstay for me every Christmas. The next is Werewolf by Night, which is definitely something I want to see Marvel do more of, because they really don't need to worry about hitting box office figures with this special because this is an instant Disney Plus release. Director Michael Giacchino is allowed to be more creative in his feature debut. This utilizes a really nice black and white that captures the old monster movie Halloween vibe. There are screen cracks and hairs that give this such a retro vibe in a way that really enhances the atmosphere of this whole thing. Because of the black and white, he is allowed to be more violent, and because of this, Werewolf by Night is perhaps the most violent MCU film ever. There is blood spraying everywhere, and someone burns alive, and there isn't really a whole lot of humor. These are all things that deviate heavily from the MCU formula, and it really works well with a Halloween special.
Spooky.
The one thing that I noticed when I saw this was that Michael Giacchino, who's most known for being a composer and recently did the score for The Batman, is a very talented director. I think he is so talented that he would have been my first choice to direct the new Blade film with Mahershala Ali. And if I was Kevin Feige, I would have made him direct it the exact same way and made it more violent. It would have been such a badass film that would be distinctly different from the rest of the MCU library. Unfortunately, he won't be the director, but I think Marvel did a good job of giving someone an opportunity to create something new and interesting in the MCU. If I were to score Werewolf by Night, it would be a 4 out of 5, and is another thing I want to see a lot more from in the MCU. Marvel is in a really strange place in Phase 4, and I think the trend towards TV shows is that they are quickly becoming a very unwelcome addition. I was someone who initially defended them because I think WandaVision, Loki, and Moon Knight are all very great shows. However, I'm starting to notice that quality dip a lot more, and the future doesn't look all that promising in my opinion. My suggestion, instead of having 5 or so mediocre to somewhat good shows every year, why don't we replace them with maybe 4 of these Marvel presentations? They won't take 6 weeks to finish, and if it does fall flat, you're not going to be extremely disappointed because you've wasted 6 hours of your life. It would be 50 minutes, and it's harder to be disappointed when a feature film is that short. And if it's as experimental as these and creates a more hit or miss kind of thing, you're going to get something really special, and sometimes you're going to get something really bad, but that's okay because they're trying something different. I think if they made things a little darker and hit different subgenres that diversifies Marvel's portfolio, it would be a great thing, because it seems like what they were doing with the shows was kind of diving into that in the beginning, but it seems like the stuff that they're trying to experiment with just gets buried under all of the MCU isms, and you get this weird Frankenstein's monster of a show that feels so poorly executed. I also think that with the whole problem with VFX artists being overworked and underpaid because they're focusing on these shows would lessen, because on these presentations, I would assume that it would take less resources compared to a 6-episode TV show. So I think we would see a lot more quality projects instead of things that feel more like content than a TV show or a film. Anyway, thank you so much for watching the video. Those are just my quick thoughts on these presentations. Now tell me what you think in the comments below. I think that these do add a lot to the MCU, and they are fun to watch to the point where I'd really love more. Not a million a year, but to have a maximum of 4 per year would just be a real nice change of pace for Marvel. With that said, remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.